Hi guys, it's Ross Jeffries, and just as I promised, this special video is about controlling your lust with Malin Ackerman naked or any other hot chick. Now if you're watching this on the blog, here it is as promised. If you're watching on YouTube, I suggest you check out my blog. But this video is really about learning to control your state. The ability to control your state when you're around a really attractive woman or attractive women is one of the three master keys to being really good at getting the women who you really want, as opposed to the women who you're just settling for. So settle in and let's enjoy this video presentation together. So here's gold key number one. And again, for those of you who are watching this on YouTube and are not familiar with my blog, basically what I'm saying to guys is the number one thing that stops guys from approaching beautiful women is not fear. It may appear to be fear, but in fact it's lust. It's an abundance, an over amount of excitement in your system. In effect, when you have a lot of lust running in your body, there's nothing morally wrong with it. This is not a moral judgment, but it constitutes noise in the system. Here's what noise means. It means, number one, that you can't think clearly. That's obviously true. If you saw Malin Ackerman naked, or whatever other hot chick you think is super hot naked, touching herself and looking at you, licking her lips, you probably couldn't think too clearly. Number two, and this is really crucial, you can't calibrate the other person. If you're totally focused on your own desire, how can you pick up any required information about the woman? How can you at least give the appearance that you're listening to her? How can you find out what you need to find out in order to get her attracted to you? You can't. And number three, a guy who's overflowing with lust just creeps women out. So the number one problem is, first of all, recognizing the problem, that it's not fear, it's lust. Here's gold key number two. When you want to change, you want to pick the system where there's leverage. Here's what I mean by that. This is basically a problem in your physiology. You're so wired physiologically, your heart is beating so fast, you're releasing all those hormones. It's a physiological system issue. You can't fix this with internal dialogue. Once your system is really revved up, talking to yourself and telling yourself to calm down just doesn't work, because the part of your mind that handles internal dialogue, basically the left brain, has no effect or very little feedback, doesn't have a feed forward or a feedback loop with your physiology. So once your physiology reaches a certain critical mass of excitement, talking to yourself just doesn't do it. To use an illustration from another area of life, if you've ever seen two guys who are about to get into a fight, they're about to really go at it, and they're yelling and screaming. Maybe one of them will walk away because he knows he's got to cool down. And he knows once he pushes it past a certain point, he can't control himself. So the key here is to make the intervention in your physiology, using your body, using your physiology, not trying to correct it with talking to yourself. So here's how we're going to do it. There's basically three steps. The basic idea is we're going to ground your energy through your feet. That's how we're going to do it. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to stand up, and what you're going to do is very slightly, I don't know how well you can see my hand here, but you're going to very slightly bend your knees. Just put a slight bend in your knees. It's not a profound bend, but just a very slight bend in your knees. And when you do that bend, you're going to exhale. So it's going to be... And then the next step is I want you to feel your feet in your shoes. I want you to feel the actual physical sensation of your feet in your shoes pressing down against the ground. And also feel the ground pressing back up on your feet through your shoes. It's the physical sensation of your feet pressing against the ground and the ground pressing back up through your shoes against your feet. Once you've done that, you're going to inhale deeply as you straighten up. And you're going to continue to feel your feet in your shoes pressing down on the ground and the ground pressing back up. So it's a slight bend in your knees as you exhale, and then inhale deeply as you straighten up. And believe it or not, if you do that like 2-3 times, do it subtly, then your state will be grounded and you'll have the appropriate level of excitement. One assignment that I'd like you to do is go to some place where you see smoking hot women. I don't know, try a strip club if you want, and do this little exercise. Just ground yourself like that, very subtly. Practice it. And then you'll find when you're out in the field, you see a smoking hot woman. If you find your state is getting too excited, that's what you do. It's a simple grounding exercise. Now here's a hint. This is something very subtle. Don't make it a big deal. Don't make it dramatic. And again, repeat it 2 to 3 times. One more point. throughout the sarge, now this is going to calm you down. For the rest of the sarge, I want you to keep about 20% of your attention on your feet. Throughout the rest of the encounter, keep about 20% of your attention on the feeling of your feet pressing through your shoes against the ground and then the ground pressing back up. Because this will act as an anchor to keep you grounded and stable and in your body. One of the big problems I find with my students is they're trying to do this too much in their head. If you could figure it all out in your head by just thinking the right thoughts, you would have solved the problem. You would have been with a hot chick bouncing her on the bed instead of watching this video. Does this make sense to you? Okay, here's what I'd like you to do next. Here's the next step. I want you to try it and give me your feedback. And again, if you're on YouTube watching this, then if you look over there, you'll see a link for my blog. Go to my blog and read some of the posts, subscribe to the blog. Post your results on the blog. Or if you're watching on YouTube, post a video response for how it worked for you. You know how to do that on YouTube. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and tweet me. Follow me on Twitter and tell me how you did with this exercise. By the way, nowadays I respond to every tweet personally. I don't have time to respond to emails, so Twitter's a good way to talk to me. If you like it, I also suggest you try out my coaching and support club for just $1. Here's what I want you to do. If you're not already a member of the coaching club, if you look there, you'll see, if you go to rjcoaching.com, you can watch some free video samples from my coaching program. Yeah, and I have to clarify, there is a sales letter there. Skip the copy of the sales letter and watch the videos first. I think you'll be so impressed by the quality of what you see in those videos as far as the support I give that you'll want to join, and you can do it for $1. Okay? Look forward to hearing from you, and we'll catch you on the blog or on YouTube or in the coaching program or on Twitter.